All right, obviously that was a brutal loss for the Golden State Warriors, and we're going to look at every angle of it. But if there's one, and I don't think the word's silver lining, but if there's one thing that at least should give you some solace, is I'm looking at the last 2 minutes of that game, and we got 3 Hall of Famers on this team. Klay Thompson took 2 tough shots. Steph Curry took 2 shots. And Draymond Green left his feet with nowhere to go. Your 3 Hall of Famers all had cracks at it in the last 90 seconds to 120 seconds. They all had a shot to change the outcome of that game. And I remember it wasn't very long ago where we were talking about Jordan Poole taking some bad shots at the end of a game that hurt the Warriors. And at least this one, your stars were front and center at the end of that game with plays to make.
Steiny, I've never told you this since we've been together. I'm in a bad mood. So I'm going to tell you that from the rip. I'm hurt. I feel like the end is near, but I felt like you left something off. Your power forward got a rebound, Draymond Green, and I sent this video out, Steiny, off a Curry miss, down 1 with Schroeder on him. What world am I living in to where am I wrong to expect the power forward who's not known for offense to power up and go for a layup and go up 1? So you left that off your list, but that's a thorn in my side.
Well, then we can say they each had 2. Klay took 2 bad shots. Curry took 2 tough shots. Draymond turned it over and had a foul.
Where were you going? But and Steve Kerr, I love you to death. You got a resume that nobody can question. But Lonnie Walker went D-Wade from Reading, PA, your turf, your hood. Why wouldn't GP2, your defensive specialist, why? I know it's not 2K. It's not a video game. And you and Evan said something to me, and I've been hearing on Twitter, oh, it happened so fast. I heard Allen this morning doing a good job filling in for Shasky with Bonte. But that's the job. You got to think quick. Why didn't GP2, why wasn't he in the game? And Kerr said he had Moody, who I've been an advocate of, in the game for shooting. But when you saw Lonnie Walker the 4th on fire, am I wrong, Steiny, to think the fire extinguisher is Gary Payton II?
I mean, that's what happens when you get beat, and there's a lot of different reasons why. Yeah, I guess it's fair to say where was Gary Payton, but who saw Lonnie Walker doing what Lonnie Walker did? Pretty amazing.
And he's got a story. I know Warrior fans don't care, but if you got a heart, just read how he came up, Steiny. And I'll just say this: good things happen to good people, and that probably was it. That was his career highlight. Not the thing that's surprising me in this series is the role reversal of the Warriors team we've grown accustomed to in the last 10 years, and it was a team that could storm back from 10 or 12 down. They're the team that gets stormed back on. It is unbelievable. It feels like every time the Warriors carve out a 7-9 point lead, in the snap of a finger, it's gone. Like in the snap of a finger, it feels like they're the team that's working hard to get a 9-point lead, and then the other team takes advantage of a couple mistakes, makes some threes, and boom, they're right back in it. And I think it gets demoralizing. It's kind of what the Warriors used to do to other teams. I don't know where you want to start, and I agree with everything you're saying, and we talked about it because you said something that I thought about was listening to Willard and Dibbs on the way home, Steiny, and again, I'm not faulting Andrew Wiggins, but I was so ecstatic, and so was Dub Nation, of his body, his presence coming back to the team. But when you really put all your cards on the table and you try to decipher what's different with this Warrior team this year in the offs, Andrew Wiggins is not Andrew Wiggins of last year. And just because it's euphoria and I'm happy that he's back, I got blinded. I went Helen Keller on looking at his game on the microscope about where he's at. And from deep, he's not home. But the story of this series to me and why they're down 3-1, and I hate to do this, and Rocco's going to be mad at me, Steiny, Klay Thompson has been MIA. Steph Curry had a triple-double, wasn't the most efficient triple-double, but the bottom line is he can't make every damn shot. Steiny, he's not getting any help.
Well, you single out Wiggins, and I mean, and last year, I mean, I think we can say Wiggins, Draymond Green, Klay, and Jordan Poole, all four of them aren't the players they were last year at this time. You know, you could if you're cynical, you'd say the Warriors. This is who they are. They've been this team all year long.
That's scary.
From the first game of the year to now, this is who they've been. And we keep thinking something's going to change, but nothing really changes.
If you mean that, and I take you at face what you just said, they're not going to win 3 in a row then.
Probably not. They're not going to win 3 in a row unless something changes dramatically about the way they're playing. Because even if they put together a nice game tomorrow, they haven't shown they could put 2-3 games together in a row, although you'd say, well, what about the Sacramento series? So this was kind of their typical road loss of the season.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at so Klay Thompson makes a shot in the corner with 3 minutes to go.
99-96.
You're up 3. And here's an undertold story of the last 3 minutes. Next possession, LeBron gets fouled. He makes 2 free throws. He made 4 free throws in the final 3 minutes, 4 out of 4. You know what? I don't expect him to make 4 out of 4, but he did. Then Klay Thompson missed a long 3. The shot clock was at 4.
That wasn't his. He had to heave it.
He said he didn't like that shot. He thinks he could have gotten a better one. But once I see the shot clock, I didn't like the shot. But
it was good D by the Lakers, team D.
But he missed it.
Yeah.
That was with 2:15. Then Lonnie Walker came down, makes a jumper. So the Lakers are up 1. Now we got a monster possession with 1:45. We're down 1, and that's when Klay took the 28-footer.
Just a chucker.
Early in the shot clock, and Steve Kerr put his hands over his head because it was just an awful shot.
And we can't forget the Dante inbound pass, Donnie, that got stolen.
Yeah. So
this is the game that you just said that we've seen all year, and I've been waiting. Forrest Gump at the bus stop. I'm going to break that out. Waiting for something to change. I thought they had the Lakers going into the 4th. And you run 24, 26 pick and rolls in the first half, and you do it like 6 or 7 in the second. I would just like to ask Coach Kerr why they went away from that, Steiny. Or was Curry gassed?
I mean, to me,
you put AD on Wiggins.
To me, if you play more pick and roll in the second half and it's effective, the one thing that's going to happen is it's actually going to be the way to get the ball out of Steph's hands, because then you trap him, and then they're going to make somebody else beat him. There's no doubt fatigue's an issue too. You can't run pick and roll. You can't play Steph Curry like James Harden.
Curry was 12 of 30. That was Harden-like.
3 for 14. Now here's the thing: from 3.
Damn.
Steph Curry was the best player the Warriors had last night. There's no doubt about
14
it.
assists.
He had a triple-double.
Yeah, but that 12
enough.
of 30 is not the shit. That's not prime chef, Steiny.
So LeBron makes 2 free throws at 1:14. Steph comes back, makes a layup. He makes a layup.
Well, yeah.
To cut it to 1, and then, like he always does, with 47 seconds, LeBron James takes a bailout 3 from 29 feet. Didn't have a chance, but you know what? Now, Warriors have a chance to win the game.
Let's go.
Curry missed an 18-footer with Davis.
Was that good, D?
I thought it was a pretty good look. That first one. Draymond gets the rebound, doesn't put it back up, throws it back out to Curry.
Oh, my God.
That shot was really tough. He misses. Walker rebound, 2 foul shots. And then, of course, last play, Draymond Green makes a bad pass.
Out of a timeout.
By the way, LeBron said he knew the play. It was either hammer or reverse hammer. Of course he did.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
So on that possession, the chef could have had the ball and you could have just let him cook. But you said, Dre, we know you're not a threat shooting it. We'll let you fiddle-faddle. Turnover. Shocker. Line 1.
So when I look over those last 3 minutes, in a way, I mean, Poole's been terrible. I don't know if he's
horrible.
unplayable.
Steiny Dibbs, I'm gonna give him flowers today.
Wiggins has been
pedestrian.
He's been the Minnesota Timberwolves. Andrew Wiggins,
K-Wig.
Okay.
Yep.
He just has.
But you're lucky to have.
So but Klay Thompson has 2 cracks at a big shot he misses. Steph Curry, 2 cracks at a big shot he misses both.
Oh man.
Draymond Green has a chance to follow up, lay it in. He doesn't, and then he turns the ball over. It was your best players all had a chance in that game. That's kind of why I'm not.
Yeah.
That's kind of, hey.
You preach.
What more do you want? What more do you want the last 3 minutes? You got something, E?
I was saying Curry also had a timeout with 5 seconds left after they got the jump ball.
Anything there for that, Steiny? When you talk about the greats and the IQs off the charts, you had a timeout. And his teammates could have called it.
Well, this has always been.
I'm just saying, if we're going to put
we always say we just rubber stamp that they're a really smart team. We always rubber stamp they're really smart. We talk about championship pedigree and equate it with we make all the right plays down the stretch. Do they? Have they this year? I don't think they have. I don't think they've been a really smart team this year.
2 games in sack they lost, and I know, hey, they won the series. I went third person. They won the series, but they lost the first 2 games of that series that bothered my soul because they were close and they showed the same habits as they did in the regular season. But, Steiny, I got to ask you a quick question, man, because I know there's the game, and then there's this scuttlebutt that's going off on outside of the court and in the locker room. I'm reading Kareth Burke, and I don't even know what to take from the article because it was so all over the place. Like, okay, is there tension in the locker room or is there not tension? I don't get what I'm reading. Is Jordan Poole, what's going on? And I'm going to say this about Jordan Poole. He's been so awful. I think it's mental, but Steiny, you cannot put last night's fourth quarter collapse, because that's what I'm calling it, down 2-1 on his ledger. Curry didn't know they didn't have a timeout? Or what? Why Kerr didn't call a timeout? Like, why?
Maybe they didn't have a total grasp of the time and situation.
And it
happened before in this playoffs. We saw it.
You know what I'm waiting on? Is Steve Kerr to put a foot in somebody's ass and just say Matt Steinmetz messed up. Don't say that's who Klay Thompson is or that's who Draymond Green is. We'll live with it. That's what's wrong. And last I look, Andre Iguodala is not a coach. These guys got to stay put in their place. It's too many Indians and not enough Chiefs. Or it's too many Chiefs and not enough Indians, Steiny. I just don't understand how Curry threw that ball. It was a puzzle. And then somebody told me, it was 2.4 seconds. The game was over. Hello, you're down 3. We've seen it all through this run. Nobody knew there was a timeout or not. My thing is, Marvin Gaye, what's going on? Quit giving guys passes. Klay, that was a terrible shot. Your coach is throwing his hands up.
Listen.
Just call him out.
You can do that.
Whoever it is.
He's not going to do that. And the reason he's not going to do that is because they're Hall of Famers. They're 4-time champions.
We're trying to win another one.
So what are you going to do? Get in Klay's
accountability. You got a game tomorrow night. What if the same situation arises? I'm going to just shoot because that's who I am?
That's who he is. It's paid off in the past. They
hit the 3 to go up. I thought it was game winner.
I mean, we're also at the point where we're kind of seeing what this is all about.
Which is what?
Which is Steve Kerr is unbelievably loyal to the big 3.
And I ain't mad.
He's not going to go down with Jonathan Kuminga. He's got, and you know what?
When you put it that way,
in a way, you have to let Steph, Draymond, and Klay fail. You have to. That's the best outcome that's a loss. If you're going to lose, those three guys have to fail. They have to have that opportunity. They've earned it, and if they've made terrible decisions the last 3 minutes of that particular game, that's the way it comes down.
Damn it.
What you can't go down with those guys off the floor. You just
can't.
And
I'm not suggesting that, but you can aid them. Like, nobody, the Warriors were deer in headlights. Everybody, you were lucky to get the jump ball. Steiny, you were lucky to get the jump ball call, which was obviously I thought was a foul. But my point to you is, we're talking about help. The coaches, the player. How come there was not a timeout call when Curry was on the ground? And we talked about this. Did Curry know a couple games ago? Did they have a timeout or not? So this has happened again.
Yeah, that one didn't jump out at me because I don't.
But if you think about it.
Yeah, well, there's not a lot of time left, and he thought he could throw it over his shoulder, and Looney was there. I mean, of course, it's easy to rip every play that was a mistake. When they had a bunch of them in the last 3 minutes. And that's what happens when you lose a game like this. You can go back and look at 9 possessions and say, man, if one little thing happens different, we go home and we win that game. But nothing went right down the stretch, and they only have themselves to blame.
Jose Arriva on YouTube, Steiny says they didn't have a timeout. He's wrong. I just want to point that out. They had one timeout left.
And I really don't. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say other than your stars had their shot, and we're used to them coming through. And you know what? We're used to Steph making tough shots to tie and win games. We're used to Clay getting Game 6 Clay making big shots. We're used to Draymond Green making big plays, getting big rebounds, making big steals. They're not doing it as much anymore. And we all know why. Of course we know why. We know why. They're getting older, and it's becoming more clear. They're not going to lose it overnight. But they've all gotten a little more inconsistent. They're not as Draymond Green and Klay Thompson are not as consistent as they were. And they don't have the wiggle room anymore because of greatness around those players